Alright, so what this should do is it should populate our intervals table, and it should roll over, and make new intervals when necessary. So let me see. So the other thing is what I should actually be doing is I should not be setting these to 0. I should be setting these to cal.get actual minimum for for their respective things. Oh god, this is just Java. This is just this is just calendar crap. Like, it's kind of insane. Right, just how calendars are calendars. You think, oh, time will be easy, and then you're like, oh, what about leap years? What about leap years? Fuck. What if the sun burns out? Well, I guess we won't have to worry about daylight savings time anymore. It's gonna get even worse when, like, if we have interstellar stuff, right? Like, let's say you need to write a mathematical library for figuring out the day of the week. So if it's 8 p.m. on the west coast of the United States on Earth, and you're like, well, I want to know if I could call my grandmother on Mars. Well, let me just pull out my compass and my astrolabe and point at the stars and figure out where the fuck Mars is and what time of day is it there, and then instead of doing that, you just pull out a revolver and blow your brains out, because it's better than calling your grandma on Mars. That got dark real fast. But it's just all this stuff that you wouldn't think would be absolutely necessary is just so necessary with time. Calendar libraries. And I think the same with financial stuff. I think there's a new currency library or something for Java 8 or 9 or whatever, and people are like, oh man, it fixes so many problems. And you're like, there are certain aspects of programming that I don't want to get involved in. Calendars and currency, those are two of them. Because time is stupid, and the only currency I want to get involved in is currency that goes into my bank account. I can get behind that. Alright, so we'll set all this stuff up in time, get time in milliseconds from all this garbage. Because all this will be set, so it should be the very beginning of the next month, or the next day, or the next week, and we just subtract a second from it, and that should give us the previous week, month, etc., etc. Alright, so what we need to do now is we need to go to our services and add our stuff. Alright, so the first thing we should add is the app master. And for next to stats here, this will be services.stats.intervals.enabled. So that'll have our stats interval stuff. Alright, so what we want to do is go to our update for this, and let's go to our update, last interval check. Let's just go to check intervals. So let's put this thing up, and the first thing that we're going to want is to make sure the app master actually works. So what's going to happen here is we want to call update is master is false to begin with. So we're going to say update is not master. Let's just make sure it works to start with. So we'll put this guy up. Alright, so we are not the master, so what we're going to do is grab our SQL client. We're going to fetch from this guy. We're going to get nothing. So master doesn't exist, so try to assume the master. Okay, so time out of memcache. Alright, we're going to need memcache here. Let's get you running. Alright, so we will now update as the master because we successfully assumed the master role. So let's go take a look at the master registration. Inv is unknown. Service ID is there. Last heartbeat is there. So last heartbeat is fine. So we'll get our current thing, and it was not null. We check our service ID. It matches. That's fine. We'll update it, and it's updated. So it's going to keep rolling around. Failed to grab latest interval. Couldn't create select star from stats interval as well. Interval context order by start time. Descending. Limit 1. Yeah, it's because that's a bad SQL query. Interval check time. Oh, that was not interval check time, that was our master check time. It looks fine, and check and set is 2, which is, this is stats master service. We should be looking at app master. Update is not master. Registration check and send. Excellent. So it's doing what it's supposed to. So if we stop this guy, and we boot this up, we should get update is not master running. So, last master check, SQL client, fetching it. So it was not null, so we're going to check our TTL, which is not there. So our master server TTL is 3 minutes. And our stats master service. Alright, that's fine. Stats master service is not going to be updating for us. So let's make sure. So this guy's going to wake up here in 29 seconds or something. There it goes. And we're going to say we are not the master. So we'll do nothing. You're going to watch TV, head to bed? Yeah. Have a good one, Scott. Have a good night, sir. And enjoy your Friday tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and set this last heartbeat to 0 and see if this guy assumes mastery. Current master hasn't reported in, and blah, attempting to do the thing. Try to assume master. Successfully assumed app server mastery. Okay, so we assumed the master, and we checked the intervals. So the question is, did we actually create the intervals? Okay, so it looks like we've got, let's sort by, so we have monthly, seasonal, daily, all-time, and weekly. So we created all these. So let's check the times proper. So our daily in my time zone is Thursday, March 15th, which is today at 12:00:00. Okay. And the end time for this is Thursday, March 15th, 11:59:59 GMT minus 7. Okay, that looks proper. So let's check our month. So this is Thursday, March 1st, 2018 at 12:00:00 a.m. This is, the end of it is Saturday, March 31st, 11:59:59. Okay, let's check our weekly. So let's also look at our calendar. It should be what? When does the week start? Your time zone, Sunday, March 11th, 12:00:00. So the first day of the week is Sunday, according to everything. So okay, that makes sense. And the end of the week is Sunday, March 18th, 59:59 p.m. Wait. What? Okay, so it was the 11th. Okay, no, sorry, your time zone, Saturday, March 17th. So 11:59:59 p.m. GMT minus 7. All right, this actually works. So there's our intervals set and our master and all that stuff. Most excellent. So the next thing I should do is put all these stats into the config system. So let's start with the app master. So this will be master heartbeat check. That's going to be 30,000. Master server heartbeat 30,000. Master server suicide is that 120,000, and master server TTL is, that's going to be 1 minute more, so that's 180,000. 180 seconds, yeah. Makes sense. Okay, so heartbeat check, this is going to be wd.c.get long. So what is this? Services.appmaster.master heartbeat check. Okay, master server heartbeat. So this is services.appmaster master server. Let's just copy paste it so we don't accidentally a thing. Alright, so master server heartbeat are used anywhere else? No. Master server suicide. Okay, so services.appmaster master server suicide. Alright, so master server TTL. LB app server. What? Is it service? Yeah, it's services. I'm so like it's beaten into me with like previous server architectures with what everything was, so I get confused. This is master server TTL. Alright, so that is set. So these will be default values. So configs don't explode horribly. Alright, so stats, intervals, and we'll do interval check time. So we got 60 seconds, so 1, 2, 3. So where is this used? It's right here, so wd.c.get long. So this will be services.stats.intervals.interval check time. Rollover type is all in there. Okay, so I think that's our stats set up. Alright, so this service is going to have a lot more in here. So this will be stats, and we're going to need quite a bit of things, so maybe these should be limits. Alright, so max basic users, max complete users, max history. Trying to think about if these really should actually go into a config system, or if, because configs can get kind of big and stupid and not super amazing. And it's like, well, if I want to update the maximum number of all these things and tweak and tune them, alright, I probably just should. Let's just go through the motions. Alright, so 20/20/40, max interval contexts, 20. It's just so many values that are not exactly very descriptive. Max leaderboard stat users. Default leaderboard stat users. So max leaderboard, result, contexts. So result names 50. Leaderboard, what? Memory cache bust time is 60, 1, 2, 3. So this is going to be leaderboard, memcache, TTL, which is going to be this guy. Again, so 60,000. So cache, common, leaderboard, z. True. Common leaderboard cache time is going to be 60 seconds. Then we'll have cache common results. True. Common results cache time is 10 minutes. Is that what it is? So 60,000. And results cache time. So that'll be results memcache TTL. Somebody no-knifed it to make that map of ASCII. Which one? What map of ASCII characters? Am I missing something? The ASCII world map in the console? Oh yeah, that guy. Um, it's legitimately acquired. Alright, so now I have to go through all these guys and start actually using them. So this will be wd.c. This is a long value. It's an int. Alright, so this is services.stats.limits. Max basic users for stat fetch. And I'm also looking for bugs while I'm here. Alright, that looks correct. Limits max complete user stuff. Alright. Did you say edge case or corner case? Edge case. Corner case. I don't know. What's going on? I don't remember saying anything about any cases. I just said we legitimately acquired the ASCII. So I'm just going over and making all this stuff driven by the config system, which is a tedious task that has to be done. This is max history users for stat fetch. Services, stats, limits. Max basic users for result fetch, yes. Corner case and edge case? I don't know. There's all sorts of cases. Like the case of like a case you would carry a laptop in. That's a kind of case. Let's see. Max complete user result fetch. All right, so this will be services stats limits. Okay, that looks. Why do we have two? So fetch complete results and result history. Did I replace the wrong damn thing? Max complete users, max history users. I guess we're just doing it the same. Let me see. Max history for users, max. I guess we could do the same thing. So max history, users for stat fetch. Fetch results history, fetch results history. I guess it's not really a big deal. So fetch results history. Max history result fetch. Vertex case, edge case, face case, head case. Yeah, it's all sorts of cases. Alright, so max stats for user. Okay, so that's fine. Max results for user. Yeah, the config system that I have for all this stuff is actually pretty cool in that next results, next kept results. And that basically it's like a dynamic reload. So we can push config values out to systems that are running and it'll keep chugging away. And that's actually pretty awesome in that there's a lot of issues with server systems where in order to actually push out an update for something, you have to actually go like restart the box or something like that. So, you know, if you have a web page that has like a countdown clock on it and you want to update the countdown clock to a new date or something, well, hopefully that's, you know, if it's in a config system or something, hopefully you don't have to restart your service to like update the clock. Instead of like you just update a config value and then the config value gets set on your thing and you don't have to worry about it. And pretty much like all the stuff at Amazon requires a restart. And that was so annoying. Just because it'd be like, all right, well, we need to update this value from 2 to 3, so we're gonna have, you know, you got to schedule downtime for that, and we're gonna have to do all these things, and it's just like, fuck. So that was one of the things that when I was at Amazon, we kind of started making our own systems that didn't require server restarts for trivial config changes. What was really funny about this, so I actually like did a presentation on like how to do config changes at runtime for all your systems without suffering from downtime, and stuff like that to a group of people. And I also went over like this is how you make it really fast. So like, okay, we can update the configuration and production in 30 seconds on all of our hosts. Even if we have like 2,000 different servers, this system will do that within 30 seconds. Everything's got the new updates, and we can just switch everything over. So that means that we can, you know, completely roll over a system safely without everything getting screwed up. So, you know, we can actually push out a breaking change across every single server in the fleet, where if they have a different value, stuff isn't going to work, without like taking it all down, because there might be some issues within like the next 30 seconds, but retries and everything else will clean itself up, and it's not really going to be downtime. It's going to be super quick, and we can do that with lightning speed. So, and it was funny that like a lot of people are like, oh, that sounds great, etc., etc., and then like one of the guys is like, well, that also means we could break everything in 30 seconds. And I'm like, well, yeah, yeah, you could break the entire fleet in 30 seconds. And he's like, well, that's not good, you know, like we shouldn't be 30 seconds away from disaster. And I'm like, well, you can also fix it in 30 seconds if it's screwed up, versus our previous systems where if you pushed out bad configs and it breaks everything, you know, you have to restart the fleet again. And this guy just wasn't convinced, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like don't you understand what you're like? What you're talking about is just dog shit. Like, like, well, we could break things, and having this older system that requires downtime and scheduling and restarts and everything makes it so the quality of our updates is higher, so we're not going to have as many issues. And you're just like, well, you're making an argument for this, but I'm going to go over here and I'm going to look at all the correction of errors that your team has for screwing stuff up and how much downtime you've got and how a lot of it has to do with shitty config changes that get pushed out along with an update, and nobody tests it because it requires restarting everything. So, like, just like, can you shut the hell up, please? So it's one of those things, you can lead a horse to water, but don't punch him in the mouth. It's just bad form. Max leaderboard stats, max leaderboard results. Max leaderboard stats is not used. Okay. Does that mean we don't have any leaderboards for users? See, where's the fetch? It's like fetch stat history. Yeah, okay, so fetch stat history for stat names, blah blah, fetch complete stats, report stats, and then fetch results. So do we have a leaderboard here for stats? We have leaderboards for results. Did I never read a call for the leaderboards? Get results for interval, fetch result leaderboard, get result leaderboard 4, fetch stat leaderboard, top number, max leaderboard stat users. Okay, so we have it in there. It was just get interval result leaderboard, get interval stat leaderboard, max leaderboard stat users. Yeah, so this should be that value. And that's why you go through some of these things. Yeah, those were also the same people that thought TCP dropped packets. And it's just kind of one of those red flags for some studios where you're just like, you guys think you're real smart, don't you? Well, I got news for you. You aren't. Max leaderboard stat users. This is max leaderboard stats, actually. Alright, so need to be leaderboard stats. And they had the weakest excuses for, like, a lot of people at tech jobs. You'll get people who like to work from home, right? Max leaderboard result users. And which is fine. Like a lot of the tech sector, you can work from home, and it's actually pretty nice if your stat users is a 10. Max leaderboard default leaderboard stat users, right? Because if you're working from home, it actually can be pretty easy to, well, if you're constantly interrupted during your day, it can be pretty nice if you can go work from home, because then people aren't like, rolling around your desk and being like, hey dude, you want to play like a game of blah blah blah, and you're like, dude, I'm working on the damn update, get the fuck out of here. Well, I just, you don't have to be a dick about it. Like, no, fuck off. I had my headphones on, and I was working on stuff that's important, and I only have 20 minutes till the next meeting, and now I'm, interrupted and frustrated, and then, if you work from home, you can kind of, that doesn't happen because people can't do anything except for, like, get you on communicator or email you or something, and, so it's not it's nowhere near as big of a thing. But as with anything, people abuse that, right? Like, personally for me, I never worked from home. Like, that was one of my things, is that I was always there in the office, and if people needed me, I was there, because I was platform team lead. If I'm gone and the auth servers are down or something else is busted, like, nobody else can fix that. And a lot of the systems I touched were pretty business critical. This is default leaderboard result users. So basically, like, I needed access to things that you pretty much had to be physically present to access. So whatever. Also, it's really nice if that was another thing, is I never answered emails from home or any of that. Like, if you wanted to contact me when I wasn't over work stuff, it was during work hours, or you're calling me on the phone. Max leaderboard stat context stuff, which is real nice. It's like you get home and you're done with work. Like, hard cut really helps keep you from going insane on large projects. Of course, that's a little bit more difficult when you're working as an independent developer and your home is your office, but it's not really a big deal. I have a different pair of gloves that I wear. Like, these are my work gloves right now, the yellow ones, and I've got these, like, beat up red ones that are there. I wear those gloves when I'm not working. So getting back to weak excuses, so there would be people who, they don't result context, yeah. They'd basically use the work from home policy to do jack shit or nothing, like. The weakest excuse I ever heard was, it was too hot last night, so I didn't get to sleep, so I'm gonna work from home today. And you're just like, what? Alright, it's too hot, so I didn't sleep last night. And this is like, this is an engineer with an Amazon engineer salary. There's, it's not like he's living out of a cardboard box on the side of Sprague or something with a couple of hookers or something. Like, no, this guy is like got his own house and in the Seattle area, which is stupid for everything. And he's making plenty to go buy like a fucking box fan or, like get air conditioning for his place. And this is not like the dude was moving and like there's some sort of it's like, oh well, this is understandable. This guy is like moving in a new place or somebody was crashing or whatever. Like, no, this is regular shit. It's like, yeah, okay, you stayed up last night playing games and you're not going to do anything today. So, yeah, we're not going to do anything. Good job. Good job, buddy. And, he would just not do anything. Basically, he'd use the work from home policy to literally do jack shit all the time. Another weak one was, do you wear gloves out to bars? No, I'm not like a weirdo. Like, I'm not that strange. Like, why is that guy wearing those things? Well, when he's wearing those gloves, he's in party mode. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like, oh yeah, he's autistic. Yeah, so sad. Yeah, another one was that there's a crack in my windshield. I'm going to stay home today. Now you might think, okay, there's a crack in his windshield, so he's going to get his windshield fixed for his car, and that can be difficult to schedule, and all that stuff. The problem is the guy didn't take his. The guy, for one, doesn't use his car for work. Two, has a wife that is fully capable of fixing that, who doesn't have a job. And the crack was not like, like a crack all the way across her windshield. It was like, like a small thing. It's like, dude, it can wait for the fucking weekend, buddy. You're smart with no worries, mate. Take care. The train on the platform 2 goes to Bonnie. He was bedridden. In the background, you heard the train. Yeah, he's like, you hear him at the beach, yeah, the fucking seagulls. Like, oh man, these seagulls outside my apartment. I feel so horrible right now. Stats limits, common results, cache time. Alright, here we go. The train on the platform, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of when, that guy who, or series of people who took advantage of all this work from home. Let's just say they were first on the chopping block. But because Amazon and Amazon corporate culture, and I guess I could, it's not Amazon, it's just corporate culture, tends to not address problems directly. So instead of like the manager going to those people and saying like, it seems like you take advantage of the work from home policy, and you need to stop doing that. You need to actually show up from for work here. Stop it. Cut it out. Instead, they stop doing work from home for everybody, right? Because that's what really needs to happen. Common results. Cache time. Common leaderboard cache time. Common leaderboard cache time.